After our procedure, many of the patients had very rapid pain relief, most reporting improvement as early as one day, that is less than 24 hours after the procedure was done. In fact, many of them had relief right on the procedure table, which was very interesting and very gratifying.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us today for another Virtual Investor What This Means segment. Today we are featuring Autonomix Medical. My name is Janine Thomas, and I am CEO of JTCIR. I am very pleased to be joined by Dr. Robert Schwartz. He is Chief Medical Officer of Autonomix. Welcome, Dr. Schwartz. We're happy to have you back on.
Oh, Janine, it's great to be back. Thanks for the introduction.
So for our audience, today we are going to discuss the company's recent update on its proof of concept human clinical trial, evaluating the safety and effectiveness of delivering transvascular energy to ablate relevant problematic nerves and mitigate pain in patients with pancreatic cancer pain. So this is very exciting for the company. And before we get started, I just want to remind our audience that Autonomix Medical is publicly listed on NASDAQ and trades under the ticker AMIX. And during today's discussion, the company will be making forward-looking statements, and I encourage everyone to view the company's latest SEC filings on their website at autonomix.com for the latest information. So Dr. Schwartz, to start, can you please discuss the goal of the initial phase of the proof of concept trial, or what's called POC1, and describe what you intended to achieve?
Sure. In March of last year, we initiated our proof of concept for pancreatic cancer patients. The goal of this trial was to evaluate the safety and the effectiveness of delivering transvascular energy, that is radiofrequency ablation, that ablates or kills nerves associated with severe pancreatic cancer pain. We aim to determine whether this approach could provide meaningful and lasting pain relief and at the same time reducing opioid dependence and improving patients' quality of life. This first phase entailed 20 patients. We had 5 test patients, 5 lead-in patients, and we did that to familiarize the investigators with the procedure, so the investigators would be up to speed when we got into the major part of the trial. The key objectives of this were to see whether we could, in fact, reduce cancer pain using our new technology at multiple time points. Obviously, in the beginning, right after the procedure, could we reduce the pain? But more importantly, could we get long-lasting pain? We also had to be sure that the procedure was safe. And so we wanted to look at safety endpoints. We wanted to gather insights in all of these parameters to, as best as possible, refine the technique and then expand it out for broad clinical applications. Now, happy to say the trial successfully met all of our endpoints. We showed rapid and sustained pain relief, remarkably, a strong safety profile, really no significant complications, but also a very meaningful reduction in the use of opioids, very important from a clinical standpoint because, of course, everybody knows that opioid drugs are very nauseating, they're constipating, they cause a lower level of consciousness. So to be able to get rid of opioids in a pain situation like this is really quite an achievement, I think.
Thank you for that. So you announced the initial phase of the study was successful and met its key objectives. In your press release, you described the data in detail. So congratulations. This is all very encouraging. But for this conversation, it would be great if you could discuss the patients in the study and what they experienced.
Well, we're very encouraged by these results. As I just mentioned, they were really key things that we learned here and were gained from the trial because this has never been done before. The patients enrolled all had severe abdominal pain from advanced unresectable pancreatic cancer. This is a very bad cancer for pain, so it's one of the worst. Unfortunately, the patients with their cancers had a low life expectancy, only about 3 months. But this is still important because it's really horrible for patients with such severe pain to spend the last 3 months of their life in such misery. The patients that we had were already experiencing significant pain, as we said, and were often, most always, relying on opioids for their pain management. After our procedure, many of the patients had very rapid pain relief, most reporting improvement as early as one day, that is less than 24 hours after the procedure was done. In fact, many of them had relief right on the procedure table, which was very interesting and very gratifying. The statistics are as follows. The patients responded from the procedure. We went from the leg. It's a procedure that we utilize the arteries of the body, in this case the leg, to get to the pancreas. There were about 16 patients in this first group, and that was 84% of the treated patients had an average pain reduction of 4.16. This is a pain score that's used from 0 to 10. So to have a 4.16 pain scale reduction is very significant, especially since they started at the levels as high as 7 to 8. Percentage-wise, this represented a 53% improvement at 7 days after the procedure. And interestingly, at 4 to 6 weeks after the procedure, we still had a significant reduction. Again, 4.67, almost a 5-point pain reduction on this vast pain score, as it's called. This was a 59, almost a 60% improvement. And this is really good because they 73% of the patients, in fact, remained opioid-free. That is, they got rid of their opioids at the 4 to 6 week follow-up. So we were very gratified to see these results.
Dr. Schwartz, that's great. And what do these data mean for what comes next? How can this technology be expanded into other cancers and their associated pain?
Yes, Janine, with the success of this initial trial, we're now going more advanced studies into a follow-on phase, as we call it a POC, a proof of concept 2 trial. They will expand the results of this study to now include additional pain in other types of cancers that occur in the abdomen. These are such things as gallbladder cancer, liver cancer, bile duct cancer, and other cancers that occur in the belly. And also early stage pancreatic cancer. Pancreatic cancer is oftentimes very painful from the very beginning. So we think that you are very successful in the late stages of pancreatic cancer. We want to see if, in fact, early stages respond as well. These are patients that have moderate to severe pain. And the expansion, as we noted, will be very important because it has the potential to double the addressable market that's there, given that many other cancers, as you know, in the belly are important, as we said, stomach, esophagus, peritoneal, and so forth. We hope to have this then to be a technique that we can refine toward broader clinical use. And beyond cancer pain, our technology has the potential to address many conditions where nerves play an active role. These include many applications in cardiology, in the heart, in blood pressure, in chronic pain management as well from other applications. By leveraging this proprietary technology we have and ablating the nerves, we really think we can more precisely target and eliminate the overactive nerves and really improve the response rate and enhance patient outcomes across multiple indications. These techniques include finalizing the protocol for the POC2 trial. We plan to initiate, as we said, in Q2 of 2025 and continuing to advance the regulatory pathways to bring our new technology to many, many more patients in need.
So you saw great pain reduction results, opioid reduction, and had a high safety profile. What does this mean for your technology and overall development program?
These results and the teachings from this trial are very encouraging, as we said. They really enforce the potential of the technology that we had hoped would be there from the beginning. The potential that we see is to possibly transform electrophysiology and nerve-targeted treatments, not only for pain, but for, in fact, other problems where nerves are involved in medical issues. The combination here of significant pain reduction, decreased opioid reliance, and a favorable safety profile, it was quite safe, shows, I think, the potential for this transvascular, meaning the procedure that goes through the arteries to get to the nerves and then to ablate the nerves that are there through the artery. For an overall developmental program, these findings provide a strong foundation for advancing ourselves into to larger trials. So we will expand the indications, as we said, abdominal cancers, and also progressing toward a clinical trial in the United States. That should happen later this year. The success of this study really supports what we think is the initiation. That is the very first time it's been used in patients in the POC2 trial, which will explore the pain management in additional abdominal cancers, as we said. And also, of course, it will still be useful in late-stage cancers where the pain is quite severe.
So, Dr. Schwartz, you saw everything you needed to see in the initial phase of the proof of concept study, which led you to expand into the POC2 trial with other visceral cancers. Why are other visceral cancers an important population to address? And can you give us an idea of how many patients these other visceral cancers impact?
Well, expanding this POC2 trial to the other cancers in the abdomen, it's really a natural progression given that so much cancer is around. And of course, these cancers are quite painful. We're building on the results from the first trial to do this. We said these cancers are the liver, gallbladder cancers, which they also cause this severe pain. And in fact, these visceral cancers collectively impact hundreds of thousands of patients worldwide each year. For example, the pancreatic cancer alone is about 64,000 people annually in the US, while liver and bile duct cancers account for another 40,000 cases. Many of these patients suffer intractable pain, as do the pancreatic cancers. And we all know that cancer is unfortunate and quite painful. These require high-dose opioids, as we've said, and these come with many side effects and risks that we hope to really get rid of. By expanding our approach, we really have the potential to really double our addressable market, I think, and perhaps more effectively to go with a technique that gets rid of the need for opioids as a solution for big-time cancer pain. This broader application could have a meaningful impact, as we said, for overall cancers, and certainly we aren't even limited to the abdomen. Bone cancer is another option. Many other cancers in the body are, we think, targets for this novel technology.
Okay, so with that, this concludes our What This Means segment featuring Autonomix Medical. I'd like to thank Dr. Robert Schwartz for joining us today. I would also like to thank you, our audience, for your time and attention. And as a reminder, Autonomix trades on NASDAQ under the ticker AMIX. And if you like what you saw today, I encourage you to visit Autonomix.com for more information on the company and to sign up to follow the company to receive their alerts, as well as follow their social channels on X, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to stay current on the latest information. Thank you for tuning in, and I'd like to wish everyone a great rest of your day.